Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Iron Gold by Pierce Brown, a Red Rising novel. So, this takes place after the Red Rising trilogy portion, 10 years, and we are still having a war. This kind of mainly pretty much between the core, mainly two core factions. The Society Remnant, kind of pretty much Mercury, Venus. The Solar Republic, which is mainly centered Luna, Earth, and Mars. And then we got the Rim Dominion, which has pretty much been sitting out, still sticking to what they thought was a genuine peace. But they still need to learn about what Darrow and Victra and everything did with the Ganymede dockyards. And that becomes a very important plot point. So the main characters that we focus on in here are Darrow's perspective, Lyria's perspective, Ephraim's perspective, and Lysander's perspective. And it was really kind of weird because it's not written bad, but you see a lot of characters doing stupid kind of things and being kind of assholes. Lysander is an asshole. He is the grandson of Octavia, the previous sovereign that the Rising deposed and killed. And he is pretty much essentially trying to figure out how to pretty much get gold back on top. And it's like, that is not going to change the situation, my friend. You might think it might stop any bloodshed, but the thing is, if you got your gold people back on top, they are just going to take out as many of the lower colors as possible, and just gonna, but you don't really value them, because we see that throughout his perspectives. He attempts to try and help people out, following kind of Cassius kind of model, because it's Cassius, Pitha, and him pretty much going around on the Archimedes, pretty much trying to rescue people as much as possible. And Lysander just makes dumb move after dumb move. We see these kind of obsidians that are going after this one kind of supply ship, and they try and rescue some people, but he decides to rescue this gold woman, and she steals his razor and pretty much leaves his ass for dead. However, they get captured and launched towards a certain kind of point that she was trying to go for, and this brings them into the whole Rim Dominion. And Romulus was pretty much going to lock her away. However, his wife, that Romulus is her father. Romulus Ra, she's Seraphina. They are not treated well. Cassius pretty much hides his face by utilizing this kind of mask system that like changes it, and they try and play off as merchants. However, Lysander keeps playing the stupid kind of gold shit. So we've got a coup going on from Dido, who is Romulus's wife, and attempting to pretty much ascertain what happened with Ganymede and pretty much launch a war on the Rising. This does not go well for what's kind of going on. Yeah, it makes kind of more sense to kind of focus on each kind of character. Lysander's really fits on me because even though it's well written, Lysander's an asshole. He's in his 20s, and certain young people can be really kind of fucked up by what you're taught, and being taught by Octavia, and just being the general kind of asshole that he is. I mean, yeah, he's been on the run because people have been trying to kill him and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean you act like an even more complete and utter dick for shit. So they pretty much are getting tortured first before they start seeing everything kind of going on. It's mainly going on with Pitha instead of Cassius and Lysander, but they are pretty much getting out into the Rim, which is not really a hospitable place. You can't really breathe, radiation, all that kind of stuff. Focusing more on kind of Jupiter and Saturn. And the kind of moons and everything. So we see that Dido pretty much arrests Romulus and pretty much is trying to figure out what's going on. They need the information, but before they were captured, Lysander had pretty much locked up Cassius's and his stuff, because if they figured out that it was Cassius and Lysander, they would pretty much kill him, because the Ash Lord got his name by nuking a moon out there. So they have no love for Lysander's house, since he's connected to the Ash Lord, and also it was under Octavia Alun that they kind of did that shit. But we see that they pretty much force this kind of thing of like throwing people at Cassius as he's pretty much being run down by a war of attrition and blood. And Lysander then opens the thing. We find out that Seraphina did get information that links, and it's like, who gave her this information? What's kind of going on there? We don't get the complete answers in this book, but it's setting it up of what's kind of going on for the next kind of books. Because we've got this Dark Age Lightbringer. Boop. Yes. And then we will have a last one, Red God, which is not out yet. So they then pretty much put on a trial for Romulus, and he just pretty much cops to treason. And the thing is, Dido didn't want that. However, he's going to fucking do this and walks out to try and do this kind of thing with his ancestors. And the thing is, he asks Lysander to pretty much do his best with what's kind of going on. So we're like, alright. And he pretty much is like, yeah, I'm going to try and help you guys out and try and get gold back on top in the core and stop the rising. It's like, good luck with that, and they're just gonna fuck you over. Seraphine, of course, is like completely changed. She at first was like, oh yeah, I might do some shit with you, but you're a loon now, fuck you. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of weird when people do that, isn't it, Lysander? He's probably gonna get really fucked over. Like, I mean, the rest of the characters of this book really get screwed over a lot for stupid decisions as well, but it's like, okay, my friend, you really are trying to stick your dick in the light socket here. Well, let's see. Lyria. Let us hit her first, and then dovetail her with Ephraim's whole kind of bit. She pretty much is on Mars and really does not like Virginia as the sovereign, because even though they talk about like everything, it really goes into how a rebellion is different, and trying to build stuff up after it and still kind of continuing a war is not easy, because we've got Harmony with the Red Hand pretty much annihilating Lyria's family because they were in Gamma, killing her brother, her sister, and her kids, except for the one son, Liam, who got to escape with her. Her father, she just is a very angry person, and she has a right to be angry. However, she does not direct it in the most kind of conducive outlets. However, we see that someone pops up that tries to stop what the Red Hand is doing, and that is Kabax Telemanus, and she saves his ass, and then of course gets brought into her household, not her house, brought into his household, pretty much by her force of the will, and being like, you said you'd help me, help my ass, at least take my brother or whatnot. And he's like, gets her in as a valet. She of course still has complete and utter issues with other people, which I get, but it's like, oh god, this is gonna really fuck you up, because it does fuck her up, because she gets tooted around, and she pretty much gets accused of stealing something, but gets rescued by this Philippe dude, who is an alias of Ephraim. Ephraim is linked up with Darrow, helping out at the one portion when he was pretty much under captivity by the Jackal, and lost his husband, Trig, and he really holds that against the Society, and had quit, and pretty much is a stealing kind of dude. So he pretty much is able to work with his team. We pretty much see a kind of setup scenario where they steal this kind of razor. It's a pretty much test from the Duke of Hands, a prominent member of the Syndicate. We get linked up with this queen of the Syndicate, but we don't know exactly what she's doing in here, even though she puts them onto this bigger kind of score. So he pretty much has to do this or pretty much get killed. So he gets his team together, and they are tasked with kidnapping Darrow's son, Pax, and Electra, Severo's daughter. I think it was more mainly for Pax, but I think they just went for kind of both of them because of, I don't know. We'll have to see how this kind of works out. But we see them do it. It doesn't work out completely well. He utilizes Lyria, having this kind of EMP kind of thing, and using her, and she really does not like him for that afterwards. But he decides to save her as well as kidnapping the children, loses one of his own during that case, and then he, of course, loses his green hacker later, but is alive with his obsidian. Duke Fan is like, alright, here's all the payment. They get away, but Lyria is able to escape as well and warn Virginia and the rest of the society forces of what's kind of going on. Now, they keep this under wraps because it links up more with kind of Darrow's whole kind of situation later on, because she can't let the Senate know what's going on because they'd probably remove her. And it's more like, let's see if we can contain this situation and actually do something with it and not use it to kind of link people off or whatnot. But Darrow is not in this kind of portion here because he has decided to make other kind of decisions. So she does eventually kind of link up with them, and she hates the Sovereign because she's been seeing she had a conversation with Pax and is like, this kid doesn't know shit, even though he is actually attempting to question things because he is both gold and red. But she's like, fuck you, asshole. And it's like, Jesus, I understand, but he is attempting to actually fucking learn from you about this shit. Not try and use you like most of these motherfuckers, but holy fucking shit. But her anger definitely is justified at what's going on, but then she kind of links up with Virginia and links up with like a Mur. Right? Wait, there's a thing here. Yeah, Holiday Nakamura. Alright. Who is linked up with Ephraim and figures all this kind of stuff out. I was like, you fucker. So they then get him as he's pretty much on his way back. It's pretty much to leave to go to Earth. But they're like, help us get the kids back. He's like, alright, fine. And he does pretty much the suicide run to get him back. He gets really injured, and the kids, they're flying in the Duke of Hand's ship, but the Queen of the Syndicate pretty much takes it over and fucks it up, and that's kind of where we're at the moment. At that, it's like, fuck, man, fucking crazy ass place to kind of end that. But he tries to kind of redeem himself at the end with this, even though it's like, yeah, probably shouldn't have dealt with a kidnapping like this. Darrow pretty much went against Senate orders in the beginning to do an Iron Rain on Mercury to liberate it because he continues to need to go against the Ash Lord. There are better ways he could have done this. The Senate pretty much strips him because he had known that there were envoys sent from the Ash Lord, pretty much Cassius's mother. And the quote-unquote peace. And this, of course, gets the Senate to remove him from his Archimperator status and pretty much wants to arrest him and everything. It's like, he should have just been open with this. And be like, yeah, this is bullshit. You don't treat with these assholes. Like, the way it's presented is that it's like, Darrow probably made the right call on that. However, he should have given information to the Senate of what's going on to let the people be involved in the process, because these assholes don't care. They'll do a piece, and they're authoritarian, totalitarian, fascist assholes. They don't give a fucking shit. They will do a piece and then come and just fuck you up. And it was used as a wedge, and it drove the wedge. It took Darrow out of the play, and he decided to go rogue with Severo and the rest of the Howlers that he could get. However, this led to him accidentally killing Archwarden Wolfgar, who was a big prominent member of the Obsidians. And it's like, ooh, this is not good. Virginia actually had to try to have him arrested. However, he bucks out, decides to break Apollonius out of prison, take some other golds as well, and attempt to do an assassination mission on the Ash Lord. It's like, oh god, that's not how this is gonna work, man. And of course, he gets to Venus. He kind of gets stuff up. Apollonius is just being a complete and utter cunty dick shit. Even to his brother, he doesn't really have a lot of forces, but they work their way into the fortress, and we have to then also deal with Darrow's niece, Rona, as she constantly tries to be like, I can do shit, let me do shit, Uncle Darrow. And it's like, oh my god. Now, her trying to prove herself, I get it. Darrow trying to wrestle with Command and try and protect her because she's his brother's daughter. Yes, I get that. And then also seeing Alexander, the grandson of Lorne, trying to prove themselves and become howlers with like the wolf pelts and stuff. I get it. It's like, holy fucking shit. Darrow just keeps kind of spiraling until we get to the giant kind of climax where we find out that Apollonius actually tried to poison the Ash Lord like 3 years ago and it pretty much fucking worked. And then Atalanta has pretty much been in control because the fleet has been split as she pretty much starts like breaking shit and just fucking shit up. And it's like, oh god, it was a complete and utter ploy. But they have also kidnapped his children, and Apollonius and Darrow and Severo just light his ass on fire. Severo's like, I need to get my kid, damn it. And Darrow's like, we can't get there fast enough. I've lost everything, so I'm just gonna fucking go to Mercury and try and deal with everything. So they split. The tensions and everything between Darrow and Severo are very well done. It's like they've reached this kind of breaking point. Darrow just pretty much lives as this war machine, this tool that he's been made of by the Rising, and the Republic is somehow surprised when they don't actually deal with that kind of thing. I do like this book for showcasing that of when you make someone into a warrior and a soldier, you have to have processes in place to get them out of that mindset. That's not a healthy mindset because it's like, next mission, and it's like, I've lost everything, so I gotta destroy these fuckers. And it's just pretty much having him go to Mercury with an even smaller kind of force and everything, and just see kind of what happens. You loose this motherfucker onto the world because he's thinking of the only kind of next thing he's got to take out this shit. And of course, we've got the Rim going to be coming into play. In effect, it's like, oh god, what's going to be happening? What's going to be going on? Him also rebuffing Apollonius, and it's just like, this is not going to end well. This sets up a lot of interesting kind of pieces, and I'm very intrigued to see where it goes. The thing is, most of the stuff is, I was more interested in Darrow's kind of positionings. Lyria wasn't too bad. She just was more played on the anger. Lysander was the one that I was like, you are a little dick shit, man. You are a stupid motherfucker, and this is really gonna get fucking stupid. You are... Best case scenario is if he actually won, he would probably die and get killed by the other golds, because that's gonna be the natural consequence. These fuckers don't give a shit, and that's gonna be it. Now, is the position of the Republican any better? No, they just have introduced a kind of chaos kind of route and need to actually do the work to make it better. But they can't do that when they're fighting wars on every kind of front. And we're probably going to see that more as it opens up with the Rim doing whatever kind of objectives they are. I'm very interested to see what those are because, alright, yeah, you've got Ganymede and everything. You're going to try and make peace with the core, the Society Remnant. What's your endgame after that? I mean, are you just going to kill Darrow? It's like, that sounds like a really stupid fucking thing to do, but... Alright. So, this was a very interesting one of like, okay, let's see how this goes after the Red Rising trilogy. How do we continue on from here? And I like the evolution of Darrow of... He's been doing this for 10 years. He's 33. And it really fucking broken him. And he tries to balance being that kind of father for his son while trying to make the safest kind of place for his son and failing and not understanding what to do and how to do it. He should have been a lot smarter and really should have conferred more with Virginia, because that seems to be Virginia's wheelhouse of expertise. Severo also, I think, would have been an interesting one, but the thing is, he kind of played second fiddle to Darrow for too long, and also kind of saw trying to question if he had got high on his own supply of believing the mythology of the Reaper and everything. Now, that's not to say that you fight over every little fucking thing, but you call, like, yeah, well, should we be escaping here? Shouldn't we tell the people about the fucking envoys so that we could be like, this is probably bullshit, and then make plans just in case to spring the trap, and then fuck them over on your trap of your own. Kind of shit. Instead of being like, let's break out this psychotic motherfucker who had actually taken over a fucking, well, not completely taken over prison, but at least made it very comfortable for himself. And I'm just like, you asshole. As they got a tongueless obsidian to come with them, and also a dog. It's like, alright, cool. So, I am excited to see. I've got Dark Age, and I've got Lightbringer. Lightbringer? Sorry, I did look it up. I also liked the characterizations that we got of Pax and Electra, how they feel different than their parents, rather than just like, oh, this is little Darrow. Oh, this is little Severo. Even though they have characteristics of their parents, they aren't just carbon copies as miniatures. Chibi! No, motherfucker. Oh, fuck no. I mean, Pax built his own kind of grab bike and shit. I'm like, good on you. That was a cool kind of bonding moment when they brought that up in the book. Electra, we haven't really gotten into the bonding moment. Fucking Victra was it's just like, he was trying to go after Lyria, and actually she's an assassin kind of person. Lyria got like stabbed by something at the end. I don't know what the fuck's going on with her. We'll see. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit in motion, so we'll see how this kind of works out. So those are my opinions on the book. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.